100%. Boxing, stirred Jimmy, he met the right lads, because they're all, in the boxing game, they're all like a certain type of person. You know, like they've got the mind set on achieving something in life, and they're steering down the right path. Jimmy's seen that he met some brilliant lads in the boxing game, and he kept away from the scumbags, as we might call them, scumbags of the streets, and he's done. I'm proud of him, really, really proud of him. He's one of the jewels in the crown doing that stand out.
Remember, Jim, them nights after training upstairs in the gym, and all them hours, and then sometimes if you was lucky you'd have enough money to grab some chips from the old chip shop that's gone now. But that was the long walk home, then all the way down there to Handsworth, you and Jerry.
The main drag in Handsworth, where all the muggers hang out, and
sometimes getting mugged on the way home, or at least hassled, but I know them days used to entice some of them muggers in and have a bit of extra sparring on the way home, just beat them up and then mug the muggers.
Jimmy and Jerry coming down with their sports bags, thinking, you know, they got some good gear in there. And Jimmy used to hang back a little. Jimmy would hang back a little bit, like, and Jerry would go in front. And usually, they'd jump Jerry. Jimmy would wait till Jerry was jumped and wide up, they got it set up, and they used to turn on whoever was trying to mug him.
And he'd tell Paddy, he'd say, we got jumped again last night, Pad, but what, a couple of muggers, and there's dozens of stories like that, but and Paddy would say, well, what happened, Jim? And he'd say, well, we put pay to them, we sorted them out, we ended up mugging them. And that's just the way Jimmy was.
And it was a rough area where they used to come through, and they used to walk down or run there every night and run back. Then used to get home like of a night till I expect 10:30. But that's what's made what Jimmy is today.
And he had a great career. He had over 100 amateur fights for Paddy, and he won almost all of them, and the odd one that he did lose, like, he probably won them anyway. It's only that we was boxing on somebody else's turf, and his fights may not have fitted, and he won British titles, boxed for England, and he was a great kid to have around. He was a great character. Jimmy's about 12 years old there. He's not in his training gear, he's in his actual boxing gear, the full kit, and there's Jimmy on the left there, Paddy in the middle in the ring, the trainer, and there's Bomber on the right, and in the background over there holding the bag is his older brother Jerry. That's like a typical shot of them early days.
Jimmy always comes down the gym here. He likes to see all the lads boxing, as you can see all the lads in here tonight. They all these lads here now, they all started like, same as Jimmy did. And I've told all the lads in here, they all know it, all the lads here now. Every one of them knows it. It's changed their lives. Every single one of them.
There's Jimmy in the bottom left-hand corner, on the right of the pair sparring up to Bomber, and just behind Jimmy is his brother Jerry in the centre sparring up to Dean, and then a few of the other lads just around the outskirts of the ring.
I'd go to his school, St John Wall, pick him up at school. I'd say, you fancy fighting tonight, Jim? We're going to Leeds, say, or we're going to Manchester. No questions, and that'd be it. Half the time he wouldn't bother going round to tell his mum. We'd phone her later. If I was on the phone, sometimes I was off. And we got to Manchester, and his mum and dad had seen him at 2 o'clock the next morning. Yeah. Back at school the next day, wouldn't take an air out of him, and back training on the night.
There's Jimmy at the bottom left-hand corner, next to Faye, then Dean in the middle, and next to Jimmy's brother Jerry, and Dean's brother Bomber on the far right-hand.
Jimmy and Bomber, two great characters, younger than us, but they went on holiday with him. And they were so disciplined in the sense that they'd go out and they'd be there up for the crack, but also realise that they're boxers, they're sportsmen, and their body's their temple.
On the professional side, like Jimmy is out in Australia, training and managing kids out there, but that all stems back from that time and all the effort and hours that Jimmy spent in that Holt gym and with Paddy, and Paddy taking him, and all the hours of investment Paddy put into him, taking him all over the country and over Europe, over to America and Canada.
When they actually left school, him and Bomber and the rest of the lads, I give them the encouragement, like, to get over to Canada or to New York. And he went to New York with Bomber, and they lived out in New York, rough and ready again. They lived in New Jersey first, and they roughed it out there. They were sleeping rough, like sleeping in different people's apartments, and, you know, getting their head down on the settee. But from that, it gave them the encouragement. But as you know, Bomber's still there now, and he's done well for himself. And from there, Jimmy come back to England, and then he went out to Australia. I encouraged him to go out to Australia. We knew people out there, and he went out to Sydney, and the rest is history.
Paddy's professional contract from out in Canada, Toronto, back in 1959. There's a few shots of Paddy down the right-hand side there in the early days. That's what got us all started. If it weren't for that, we wouldn't be above there, and Jimmy wouldn't be out in Oz boxing.
And then when I saw Jimmy in Sydney, when I stayed with him in Sydney and we was training, it was such a... I used to say to him, look where we've come from a long way, we've done an awful lot. And that's what boxing does, and that's what getting in the gym has done for him, you know. It's brought him away, and it's a lot of boxers' dreams, and everyone still tries to do it. That's what boxing's all about. But Jimmy hooked onto that, and it was a big step for him in his life in the gym, and how he got away from the inner city. You know, and when you go out to Sydney and you know, you come out the gym and then you go down to the beach and you've got a white sand beach and you can go swimming around.
It's all worthwhile, isn't it?
It's always worthwhile, you know.
It's all worthwhile, yeah.
And he's always got a story to tell about the good old days in Handsworth.
And still has got the opportunity. He's only in his 30s, man, and there's heavyweight boxers. There's Evander Holyfield, who's fighting for the heavyweight title at 46. So he's in his prime as far as I'm concerned. He's always been fit, he's always looked after himself. So I think he's going to do really well, man.
The lads that he's training now, he's pushing that fitness level to them, because all his lads that he's got training for him are all doing well, and they all show great fitness in the ring and great stamina. That's Costa Zoo, former world champion, but Jimmy was a sparring partner of Costa's for many years, and used to train with him. So when he was out there sending us back the pictures of Costa, we all knew then that Jimmy had made the big time down in Australia. He just kept inspiring the lads each time we got a bit of post back to the gym over here from Jimmy, and to see his face and that up on the poster was just inspiring for all the young kids to realise where Jimmy come from and where he's at now all these years later.